All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nigar, Selin, Ilknur, and who else we have here? Aisu and
Hello.
all right. Hi. Where is Alakbar Ibrahim? Others are absent. Maybe soon they will join us. So Nigar, Selin, Ilknur, Aisu. And Aisu, I think she's not our students. Guys, how are you? How was your weekend? Is everything okay?
Yes.
So are you ready for new week?
Mhm.
Celine, how are you? How do you feel? Are you tired or relaxed or fresh?
Tired.
Did you finish your dinner?
No, I didn't even it.
Okay, good. So guys, then let's continue. As you know, we were talking about this new chapter, ratio, rate, and speed, and one more. Let me tell you, this is maybe, I don't know, every chapter is important, but this chapter is really, really important. Why is it so? From now on, you'll see that every problem is
Hi.
related to this topic. Hi, this ratio, rate, and speed problems. Okay. Even when you just go to university, when you take some different courses, you will see that. I mean, the central topics are this rate problems because in real life, everything is related to each other, right? A lot of things are related to each other. For example, if you're driving a car and the amount of gasoline that your car is burning or consuming, right? And also the distance traveled, they are related to each other. That is one example for rate problem, right? And for example, you just go to a restaurant and eating burgers, for example, Nigar and Selin, they are competing against each other. Who can eat more, right? And Nigar's rate is, let's say, 2 burgers per minute. Selin's rate is, let's say, 1.5 burgers per minute, and below this kind of things. So let's continue. We already started. We did a few examples. Now I'm going to continue from where we stopped. I think we stopped here. Okay. Uh, Ilknur, can we start with you? Can you read this question? And after that, if you understand anything, explain to us. Then we will do it together.
Uh, Two types of coffee, P and Q, are blended in the ratio 0,
No,
no,
not
313 by weight from a standard blend. A second standard blend Y is found by blending type P coffee, type Q coffee, and type R coffee in the ratio 1 7 12 by weight. Calculate the weight of each type of coffee in 800 grams of X.
okay. Question B.
This my screen went black. I don't know, the screen disappeared for me.
Okay, then I will continue for you. No problem. So, guys, last time, if you remember, we saw one question related to this. It's also very similar. It was about some chemicals, right? And it was just adding 2 3 chemicals, we form some kind of a solution. But here it's also again real life problem. It's about coffee business, and it says that 2 types of coffee. The first type is coffee P, and the second type is type Q coffee, right? Are blended, right? In the ratio 3 to 13 by weight to form a standard blend X. Okay, we're just mixing because this ratio is very important, right? In a lot of things, this ratio is very important. For example, if you are cooking something, right? And also we need to add salt, right? In a certain ratio. Otherwise, it will be very salty. You cannot eat this. If you are cooking rice, for example, also you need to add water in a certain ratio. Otherwise, it will be very soft or it will be very dry and you cannot eat this. I mean, the taste will not be as you desired, right? And a lot of things. The ratio is really important. Like even the temperature, the water, a lot of things. Anyway, here we are just mixing two things, right? P and Q, and we form standard blend X. All right, here a second standard blend Y is formed by blending type P coffee, type Q coffee, and type R coffee in the ratio 1 to 7 to 12 by weight. Question A. Let me change the color. Find or calculate the weight of each type of coffee in 300 grams of X, right? So since we just added in this ratio P to Q, right? That is 3 to 13, right? That means that what does it mean? We're just dividing this, right? This 800 grams into 16 parts, right? 3 parts is from coffee P and 13 parts from coffee Q. So to find how much actually we have P and Q added to this, number one is to find P. P is equal to 3 out of 16 because 3 plus 13, here we have 16 units of what? Of 800 grams, right? Which is equal to 800 is divided by 16, that's equal to 50, 50 times 3. So we added 150 grams from type P. And how about type Q? Since we are just only adding 2 parts, right? If type P is 150, the second type should be 800 minus 150. Or also I can find in this way, right? 13 out of 16 times, here we are talking about 800 grams, that's equal to 50 times 13, that's equal to 650 grams of type Q. So we just added like the 100 grams of type P and 650 grams of type Q, and together we form type X, which is 800 grams. All right. In similar way, we can answer the question, the second question. Let me just change the color. The weights of type P coffee and type R coffee in 800 grams of Y, right? The second type is, it is Y, and here we have type P and type Q and type R. And their ratio is type P to Q to R is given as 1 to 7 to 12, right? So now from here, again, it says type P, right? What is type P? Type P is only 1. 1 out of 1 plus 7 plus 12, that is 20. Times, here we have 800, which is equal to 40 grams, right? And how about type R? Type R is, let me continue from here. It's so big here. Anyway, type R is, it is the third part, right? It is 12 over 20 times 800. That's equal to 800 over 20 is 40. 40 times 12 is 480 grams, right? So actually in this coffee, 40 grams type R, type P, and 480 grams type R. We didn't say anything about Q. Also, actually, I can write here about Q. What is Q? Q is 7 over 20 times 800. That's equal to 0, 0. It is 40. 40 times 7, 280 grams of type P. Ignore, is everything clear?
Yes.
Nigar, how about for you?
Yes, I understood.
Are you sure? What are you doing now, Nigar? Eating, sleeping, playing games, what?
Listening and taking.
Now, why is your camera off? Now, Nigar? No answer. Okay, guys, all of the cameras are off and you are super tired. I don't know. And this kind of teaching is not so good, but I have no choice, so I will continue. But I will complain to Mr. Adalat about you. All right. Continue. The third part, it says calculate the ratio of the 3 types of coffee in a third standard blend, Z, formed by mixing equal weights of X and Y. Since we are talking about the ratio, and that how much, actually it doesn't matter. The important thing is we are actually, the amount should be the same, right? And suppose that here we have X, which is 800 grams, and here we have Y also, it is 800 grams, right? They are equal amount. Now I'm mixing this 800 grams of X. How much P do we have? How much Q do we have? We have already found this, right? And also this 800 grams of Y, how much P we have here, how much Q we have here, how much R we have here. We have just calculated in part B. In part A, X, 800 grams of coffee, 150 P, 650 Q. So this one is 150 grams. This one is 650 grams. How about in type Y? Type Y, P is 40, right? P is 40 grams, and the Q is 280. This one is 280 grams, and the R is 480. 480, right? So now if I just mix this together, if I mix them together, X plus Y. But inside this, right, coffee, here we have actually from type P, from type Q, and from type R. So how much coffee do we have from type P and type Q and type R? From type P, let me change the color here. From type P, here we have 150 and here we have 40, right? 150 plus 40. So in this mixture, we have 190 grams of type P. And also when we mix this, type Q, it is 650. And here we have 280. Their sum is 800, 930 grams of type Q. And how about R? In X, we don't have any R, only the second one. Type R is 480 grams. What is the question? It says that the ratio of the three types of coffee. So the ratio of three types of coffee here is, that means it is P to Q to R, which is equal to 190 to 930 to 480. And always we better actually leave our answer in the simplest form. As you see here, all numbers are multiples of 10. I can just cancel out the zeros, and 19 is a prime number, so we have nothing to do. So the answer is 19 to 93 to 48. That is the ratio of the types of PQR in the mixture or in the new blend X plus Y. And how about question D? In the question D, the weight of type P coffee in 800 grams of zinc, right? So actually, as you see here, this all together, how much, what is the weight of this coffee? It is 190 plus 930 plus 480. We just added 800 grams to 800 grams. The total weight here is 1,600 grams. Now in the question here, the weight of type P coffee in 800 grams of zinc, right? So what is Z? Z actually is given by this, right? P to Q to R, P to Q to R. The original ratio is 190, 190 to 930 to 480. And total weight here is 1,600. How about if I divide all numbers by 2? Because we know that in the ratio, if we divide all numbers by the same number, the ratio does not change. It means that it remains unchanged. Now, if I divide 190 by 2, 930 by 2, 480 by 2, we will get this simpler form. 190 is divided by 2 is 95. And 930 is divided by 5 is 465. And 480 is divided by 2 is 240, right? What is the question? P. The P, the first one represents, right? So in this mixture, actually, how much P do we have? We have 95 grams of type P is added if the weight of this new mixture is, what is it? 800 grams. Because the sum of these numbers, 95 plus 465 plus 240, that's equal to 800 grams. Ibrahim Iskender, how are you? Okay. All right, I will continue. If you have no questions, I will continue. Now, guys, we will talk about rates. The first part, actually, it was about ratio, as you know from the name of the topic. The second part of this chapter is about rates or rate problems. And the third part is about speed. Let's consider the following questions. Nigar, can you read the first one? İlknur, the second one. Selin, the third one. Nigar, read it.
Can I read the first two?
Yeah, where is Nigar?
Both
Is she
of
sleeping? Yeah, I think so.
No.
Okay, okay, İlknur, let's continue. You read it.
if 1000, what does 1000x mean?
Doesn't
How many?
means 12.
12?
Yeah, doesn't means
If 1000x costs $1.80, what is the cost of 30x?
okay. Next.
A car travels 570 kilometers on 60 liters of petrol. If the car travels 190 kilometers, what will the petrol consumption be in liters? The word consumption.
İlknur, the meaning of the consumption actually it comes from consume, right? Consume.
Yes. Oh yes, I know what
Consume means
consume means.
use, right?
Use. Yes, to
Okay,
use.
good.
A boy works 5 hours and is paid $12.50. How much will he be paid if he works 12 hours?
Okay. And these are just examples, all right? These examples are related to rates, and we just simply call them rate problems. And now, actually, to answer these questions, each of the above questions, we must first find the cost of one egg, right? Since 12 eggs cost $1.80, then one egg costs 1.8 over 12, which is equal to, what is it? 0. 0. Is it 15? Yes, 0.15. Okay. How
Yes,
about the
15.
petrol consumption? For 570 kilometers, the car consumes 60 liters of gasoline. So that means that for 1 kilometer, it consumes 60 over 570. So it is something. So how about the last one? For 5 hours, right? It is $12.50 for 1 hour. Then it is 12.550 is divided by 5. All right. Actually, each of the above results is different from a ratio, right? Why actually is it different from ratio? If you remember, when ratio problems, actually the units are the same. We are talking about the number of boys and girls, right? The type is the same. The ratio of boys to girls, the ratio of students to teachers, the ratio of the area of Azerbaijan to the area of Turkey, for example, the amount of money I have, the amount of money that İlknur has, right? These are actually, the units are the same. But when we talk about rate, actually, we are comparing two quantities of two different types. As you see here, the first one, number of eggs with dollar, right? The money. The second one is the distance traveled by the amount of petrol, right? And the third one is number of hours to the amount of money. In each case, the units are different. So each of the above results is different from a ratio in that it involves two quantities of different kinds. Each of them is called a rate. It is a comparison of quantities of different kinds, and thus it is necessary to state the units used. Okay, that's why we have to use the units. Okay, that's okay. Distance, what is it? Just 5. What do you mean? Like speed, for example. The speed is, what is it? Comparing distance and time, right? So you need to mention it is meter per second or kilometer per hour or meter per minute, right? Or the x, for example, it is one egg. How much is it? It is 0.15 cents per piece, right? For each piece, right? Anyway, this kind of things. Now let's see a few. Okay, it's also about this, and after that, it will solve problems. So the first one, what is the rate? The rate is $0.15 per egg, right? So here is, we have to mention, otherwise it will not be clear. And also the second one is 2/19 liter per kilometer. That means that our car consumes 2/19 liter of petrol per kilometer. And also that's the last one is about working hours. Anyway, so now let's start this question. Ilknur, can you also read this question? I think others are too
How
tired
far
to-
can a car travel on 15 liters of petrol if it can travel 91 kilometers on 1 liters of petrol? How much does the owner of the car spend on petrol, which costs $1.10 per liter when he travels 260 kilometers?
Very good. Thank you very much. So actually here we had two questions, right? Let's start with the first one, the first part. How far can a car travel on 15 liters of petrol if it can travel 91 kilometers on 7 liters of petrol? So as I actually usually rate problems, how do you solve this? Let's say this part A. All right, that's part A. Okay, it's already given that here on 91 kilometers on 7 liters of petrol. Right. So here it can travel 91 kilometers on 7 liters of petrol. The question is, how about if we have 15 liters of petrol here, 15 liters of petrol, how many kilometers? Let's say it is d kilometers because it's distance, that's why I'm using d. Now, to solve this question, usually we just draw a line, and after the cross multiply, that is 91 times 15, that's equal to 7 times d. Now, from here, what is d? D equals 91 times 15 over 7. And 91 is divided by 7, that's equal to 13. And here we have 15. And 13 times 15, 10 times 15 is 150. 3 times 15 is 45. So that's equal to 195 kilometers. So if you just actually put what is it, 15 liters of petrol into your car's tank, right? And it can travel 195 kilometers. All right. And how about the second part? The second part is, let's use blue. The second part of the question, it says that how much does the owner of the car spend on petrol, which costs $1.10 per liter when he travels 260 kilometers. Right? To answer this question, okay, for 260 kilometers, how much gasoline or how many liters of petrol is needed or are needed? First, we have to answer the question. And after that, we will just multiply this by 1.10 per liter, right? Because that's the cost, then we can calculate the total cost. Anyway, first, we have to find for 260 kilometers of distance, how much petrol is needed, right? And again, using this rate, we know that for 91 kilometers, we need 7 liters of petrol. And how about for 260 kilometers? Here we need X liters of petrol. Now, if you solve this again, cross multiply, 91X is equal to 7 times 260. Now from here, what is X? X equals 7 times 260 over 91. 91, I can write it as 7 times 13. By this 7, it is gone. 26 is divided by 13 is 2. So here we have 20, what is it, liters. That is the first part, right? Now the second part is, okay, so to travel 260 kilometers, we need 20 liters of petrol. And since 1 liter of petrol is $1.10, right, for 20 liters of petrol, we need to pay. The cost is 20 liters. For each liter, we need to pay $1.10, which is equal to how much? 200 and not 200, $22. So we have to spend $22 on petrol to travel for 260 kilometers. Wow. Really? Yeah, I think it makes sense. Maybe it doesn't consume much. All right. Any questions, guys? Okay, if you have no questions, let's have break for
No.
3 minutes, okay? Yes, did you say something?
No, I just said that I don't have questions.
Okay. Guys, 3-minute break, okay? Let me drink some water. After 3 minutes, we will continue. All right, next question. "200 grams of fertilizer is required for a land area of 8 square meters. At this rate, how many grams of fertilizer are needed for a land area of 1 square meters?" Right. So part A, it says that for 8 square meters, right, 200. So here we have for 8 square meters, we need how much? 200 grams of fertilizer. And how about if it is 1 meter squared? For 1 meter squared, we should just divide both sides by 8. So it is 200 over 8. That's equal to 25 grams. So we need 25 grams of this fertilizer for the land area of 1 square meters. And how about question B? How many grams of fertilizer are required for a land area of 14? So since for 1 meter squared, why we need 25 grams. So for 14 meters squared or square meters, we need 14 times 1 meter squared. For each meter squared, we need 25 grams, which is equal to 10 times 25. It is 250, 100, it is 350 grams. So we need, or we will need 350 grams of fertilizer for a land area of 14 square meters. And how about C? In C, for what land area will 450 grams of fertilizer be sufficient? Sufficient means enough, right? So since we know that for 1 square meter, we need 25 grams of fertilizer, right? And how about if our land area is 400, we don't know, 450 grams will be enough for X square meters. Now again, from here, if you cross multiply, here we have 450. Now we don't have to write the units, and we can write this in the last step. Here we have 25 times X. Now from here, what is X? X equals 450 over 20, right? If you divide by 5, it is 90. Divide by 5, it is 18. So the answer is 18, 18 square meters. Okay, İlknur, is it too easy or?
I'll say it is normal.
Okay. All right, that's also another easy question. And after that, maybe we will solve a bit more challenging questions. That's the last question, I think, is it? Yes. A cook uses 15 2 kg bottles of cooking oil over a 4-week period. So that means that it is how much? Number one, 15, that is 15 times each one is 2 kg, that's equal to 30 kg, right? And over how many? 4 weeks. All right. If he decides to buy 5 kg tins of oil instead, How many tins of cooking oil will he use over a 10-week period if the rate of using it remains unchanged, right? So that means a 10-week period, right? How many? Okay, that means that here, what is the question? 10-week period, how many, right? So here, the question is 30 kg, right? Is enough for 4 weeks, right? And how about for 10 weeks? How many kg of oil will be needed? And after that, let's say each one is 5 kg. Let's say we will need n such tins. So n times 5, the total weight will be 5n kg. Now from here, we need to find n. If we cross multiply 10 times 30, that is 300, is equal to 4 times 5, and that is 20n. Now from here, n is equal to 300 over, it is 20, which is equal to 15. So if we just change this to 15 kg tins, and we need to buy 15 such tins of oil, right? So that will be enough for 10 weeks. So the answer is ... 15 tins. Each is 5 kg. All right. Adilhan, are you here?
Yes, sorry for late. I had training,
Training? What training?
football, and I came late.
Football at your school?
No,
Where?
in the city I have football club
Ah,
like that.
so you went to football club.
Yes,
I see. Do you play football well?
yes.
Okay, good. Adilhan, can you read this quote and we will finish this part and we'll talk about speed.
If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you.
So Adilhan, what do you understand from this quote? Is it related to you or not? Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know? You didn't understand anything?
No.
It is saying that Adilhan, if you really want to learn, even if your friends actually say that Adilhan, don't study, don't learn, they cannot stop you. But if you don't want to learn, even they bring the best teacher, or if your parents, everybody forces you, you cannot actually, they cannot change anything. And that's why, what is it? Loving someone, right?
Yes,
To be interested in
you should
someone. Huh?
you should want, I think, to learn. You will not be able to learn if you will not want to learn.
You gotta say again, I didn't get you. What did you say?
If you don't want to learn, I mean, if you want to learn, then you'll be able. But if you don't, no one will be able to teach, like in the school.
Yeah, of course. I mean, wanting to do something, willing to do something, that is really, really important. And English, we call this, what is it? Self-motivation, right? Self-motivation. Do you know how to motivate ourselves? Maybe now you're a bit young, but as you grow older and older, you become more independent. Then, okay, where's my pen? Okay, I dropped my pen. Okay, guys, let's continue. Thank you, Nigar. I'm closing this part. Let's start the next part, the last part, and after that, I will finish the class. Okay. Guys, now here we will talk about speeds. Okay, the ratio, we did a few examples, and also rates. And once again, if you do not practice, you cannot improve much. Okay, I don't know what to say, but maybe you're so tired, blah blah, whatever it is. Okay, if you really want to improve, you need to practice questions. Otherwise, you just come and sit here, and you will not learn much. You learn, of course, definitely you learn something, but not as we or as your parents expected. So now let's continue. Adilhan, do you have energy to read the first sentence?
In A,
Yes.
David ate 5 hamburgers in 10 minutes. His rate of eating is 1/2 of a hamburger per minute.
B.
Mrs. Lim's car traveled 800 kilometers on 64 liters of petrol. Its rate of petrol consumption is 12.5 kilometers per liter.
Okay, thank you very much. Here were two examples that gives us a lot of idea about average rate. So in the two examples above, we are assuming the rate given is constant through the given duration of time, as in A, and throughout the journey, as in B. But in real life, the rate may not be constant, and the value calculated is indeed the average rate for a given duration of time for a journey, right? What do we mean by this? For example, here, if you're talking about David and he ate 5 hamburgers in 10 minutes, on average, we can say that he can eat, right, 1 hamburger in 2 minutes, right? Or we can just say that half hamburger in 1 minute. But it doesn't mean that every half minutes, right, or every minute he is eating half hamburger. Maybe the first minute he eats very fast because he's so hungry, but as he eats more and more, he just slows down because your hunger is just disappearing, right? Moving away. So that actually your rate gets slower and slower. And how about when we say that Mrs. Lim's car traveled 800 kilometers on 64 liters of petrol? For example, if you're traveling from one point to another point, right? In real life, let's say from, I don't know, from your house to your school, and for example, if you see the traffic light, you need to slow down. If there's no traffic light, and after that, you can travel a bit faster. In cars, if you just travel at a constant speed, it consumes less petrol, right? And every time you're just slowing down and again accelerating, at the time it consumes a lot of petrol. It's not constant, okay? And that's why on average we are calculating this, because just calculating at every point, it is very hard. Usually in a lot of things we just use the average rate of something. Anyway, so now let's continue. Actually here some questions are a little bit challenging, and if you really try and solve it will be great, for yourself. Okay, and also Sasmo, a lot of questions will be similar to this. Ali punted the ball 4 times in a football game. Okay, Adilhan, you know what does punt mean?
Which word? Punt?
Punt.
No.
You know, usually when you are playing football, right, sometimes you just put the ball on the ground and you just kick this, right? And
Ah,
wherever it goes, right, it is called punted.
ah.
So Ali punted the ball 4 times in a football game, but each time maybe it goes very far away, right? Sometimes very short, and sometimes it just actually hits somebody and stops, something like that. Anyway, I just kicked, you can understand. It's a kind of free kick, okay? So Ali punted the ball 4 times in a football game. His longest kick was 45 meters, and his shortest kick was 27 meters. Okay, now here, this Ali, here we are talking about a football stadium. Let's say Ali is kicking the ball from here, right? And here we have the ball. And when he kick, the longest one is here. That is 45 meters. And the shortest one is here. That is, what is it? Actually, it is too short. Maybe just kicks and lands here. Okay, that is, what is it, 27 meters. All right, that is 27. What is the question here? His average rate was 38 meters per pound. If the other 2 pounds were equal in length, actually he just kicked the second one and lands here. And the third one, again, the same distance, right? The question is, if the other 2 pounds were equal in length, find the distance that each traveled, right? So here, again, is a kind of a problem because here we are using here the rate, right? So the sum of this, suppose that the second and third is length is, this one is X meters, okay? When he just pumped the ball, it traveled for X meters, I mean, horizontally. So at the time the distance will be, the shortest one is 27, and second and third, it is X and X, the longest one is 45. And their average is 4, and that is equal to, what is it? Average rate was 38 meters per pound. Now we need to solve this question. 27 plus 45, that's equal to 72 plus 2x over 4 is equal to 38. And immediately 32 and 2x, they have a common factor of 2. If you divide numerator and denominator by 2, so here we have 36 plus x over 2 is equal to 38. Now from here, 36 plus x is equal to 32 times 2, 38 times 2, which is equal to 76. What is x? X equals 40. So that means that, what is it? If the other 2 pounds were equal in length, find the distance that each traveled. That each actually traveled for 40 meters. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, any question? Or
No.
anything you want to say? Anything you want to share with me?
No.
No? Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys, now this question is for you. Okay, that is a little bit hard question. Usually in a lot of Olympiads, they ask this kind of question. You have 4 minutes, okay? Solve it, and after that we will discuss, and we will finish the class. Okay, 4 minutes, time starts now. Ilknur, you're so fast. How did you get it? Ilknur, would you like to explain your answer?
Yes, I am now typing the solution.
Typing? You don't have to
Yes.
type. Just tell me, how did you get it?
Um, I'm not really I mean I can't tell um some I mean I'm still learning how to explain the solutions.
But Ilknur, did you form an equation then solve this, or you just guessed and try?
No, I did solve it, but I can't tell it in English. I
Mm.
mean, I
Yeah,
can
I mean,
type
no,
the
Ilknur,
solution.
did you form the equation then solve it, or
Yes.
okay? I mean, if you form the equation solve, that's great. Okay, then let's do this together. Very good, Ilknur. If you solve this that fast, it's great. A full bathtub will empty an average rate of 10 minutes, right? So in 10 minutes, it will be empty. It will be empty. It will fill up to full at an average rate of 8 minutes if the plug is in. How long will it take to fill up to full if the plug is removed and the tap is turned on? Okay, so we are talking about some kind of bathtub here, right? And that's our bathtub. And here we have a tap here, okay? And then we just open this. And also here we have a kind of plug here, right? If you just open this, the water goes out. So that is full. All right. So it says that will empty at an average rate of 10 minutes. What does it mean? It means that let's say the volume of this bathtub is V, and this rate is, let's say it is capital R, right? This volume will be equal to time times rate. It's like very similar to distance is equal to speed times time. And also here the speed is the rate, right? The rate of change of distance over a unit of time, right? So how about this? When the water flows into the bathtub, it says that it will fill up to full at an average rate of 8 minutes if the plug is in, right? It's in here and the water is not going out. So here it will fill the volume in how many minutes? 8. But here the flowing rate is different. Let's say it is R. Again, what are the rates? Actually, what is the unit of R? Or unit of R is, it is liter per minute. And also unit of capital R, the same thing, liters per minute. That means that if it is full, right, if you just open this plug, right, that means that every minute are liters of water going out. And if you just plug it in, if you close this, right, this hole, and after that, if you just open the tap, that means that every minute are liters of water flowing into the bathtub, right? Now, what is the question? Now, if you just open this, right, and close, and also open the tap and also open the plug, right? The question is, how long will it take? So that means that let's say the volume will be equal to, it will be full, right? So some water is going out, some water is coming in, right? So that will be the difference. This one is small amount is going out, so a big amount is coming in. So the difference will be, what is it? That is R minus capital R. That is the remaining amount of water in the bathtub. And the question is, how long does it take? That is our equation. Now, from here, V, right, from this equation, what is lowercase r? Lowercase r is V over 8. And how about here, the capital R equals capital V over 10. Now, if you substitute here, lowercase r, it is V over 8 minus uppercase V, that is V over 10 times T, right? And VV is a common factor. V equals V times. Here we have 1 over 8 minus 1 over 10. Common denominator is 40. Question multiplies by 5 minus 4 over, here we have 40. And here we have T. This VV cancels each other. 5 minus 4 is 1. So T over 40 is equal to 1. Now from here, that means that after exactly 40 minutes later, right, if we actually open the tap and this drainage also open at the same time, it will be full in 40 minutes. Okay. All right. That's it. That is, we have a lot of good questions. Now, next time we will continue from this time. Okay. And there are some good questions here. We will practice together. And also I will drop some exercises. If you have time, you need to practice. Okay. Guys, thank you very much. Okay. For your patience, for your time. I will meet you on Thursday. I will drop some questions in WhatsApp. If you have time, try to practice those questions. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. See you on Thursday.
Bye. Have a nice
Bye.
day.
Thank you. You too.